Why would anybody want to talk federal and state governments into buying all this Bitcoin? Now, you and I have been talking about what's going on in the world. We know that what states need to do, number one, is invest in science and technology. Invest in ending chronic illness among children so those children can grow up and have high IQs and lead us in science and technology and make sure we have as many smart engineers as China, right? We know we need to invest in reindustrializing in our country because trade economics are changing, and now it's much more attractive to do things locally or regionally that we used to ship in from abroad. So what we export and what we import is changing, and we need to invest in that. Why in the world, in the middle of having to make all these really important strategic investments, would you have anybody buy into a Ponzi scheme? Well, here's why. About 2% of the holders of Bitcoin own and control, last I looked, about 70% of the outstanding Bitcoin. You have huge concentration of the early investors. Now, what would they like to do? They'd like to get out of Bitcoin and into real assets like gold, like land, like real estate. But, you know, if you look at how thin the market is, it's a tiny market still. If they try and get out, they're going to trash the market, right? How are they going to get out? Well, if you mandate federal and state purchases, you're driving liquidity way up and you're driving the price up. Now, what are you going to do with that money? Well, we know from listening to the trial balloons what they'd love to do. The federal government, according to Howard Lutnick, the new incoming Secretary of Commerce, hasn't been confirmed yet, keeps talking about $500 trillion worth of land and mineral resources that the U.S. government owns. If you can drive Bitcoin to the moon and you can set up swaps for real estate that are tax-free and you can do them on a secret basis, guess what? You can bail out your Bitcoin, swap it into all the land and real estate, and you can end up owning huge pieces of the federal land in some of the western states that have a lot of federal land. Right?
That's where you think this is going.
It's a land grab.
Wow.
What they want is they want the real assets. And the federal and state governments own the real assets. Wyoming, Idaho, Alaska, Utah, all these states have huge, beautiful, magnificent land assets. Magnificent. Right? You know, and if you can swap those for crypto assets that you create out of thin air, wow.
Yeah, wow. I mean, you have Kevin Costner out west. This is some of the most beautiful land that I've ever seen.
Right.
Ding, 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 ding.
Right. So if you privatize the management or the ownership of those assets, you're talking a great, I have one friend who says, it's not Make America Great Again, it's MBT. I said, what's MBT? She said, make billionaires trillionaires. You're talking about creating a whole new round of Rothschilds and Rockefellers with fortunes like this. This is a plunder capitalism, potentially, like nothing I had ever seen before. And I've seen a lot of plunder capitalism, as you know. But this makes the mortgage... the guys who did the mortgage fraud are doubling down. This is a double down.
This is like